Hi everyone, this is Kathleen and welcome back to my random thoughts. I've been contemplating on what to post for today. It's because I have two good ideas that I would like to share with everyone. Um, but as I go through with it, I decided to start with the eight things that helped me change my life and, of course, helped me in terms of my personal growth. Now, these eight things they didn't come from me originally. I'm using an app which is called Deep Stash, and I read a couple of what do you call this articles in that app, and it helps me in things that I would want to develop. And since I am focusing on my personal growth, of course I'm also focusing on other things, but my main goal is personal growth, my personal development. I usually read through things about that. And so I think I came across about this article probably 2019, and that's when I started to really embody those eight things, and I want to make sure that I'll be able to share it. I'm not even sure why I'm only sharing this with you guys, but I think that this could potentially help you in whatever experiences you are going through right now, and especially if you're focusing on your growth. It can be through personal growth, it can be career wise. This would help you um, grow. Now, as a disclaimer, these eight steps or these eight things didn't originally come from me, but what do you call this, I tweak it a bit, I change some of it. It is because that article or each step actually focuses on completing a task in 1 year. And when I read about it, I was thinking it's hard for me to stick to something in a short span of time. So if I want to achieve something, I would want to break it down into small pieces. And that's what I usually do, even when I'm creating my goal. If it's too big, I want to make sure that I would create small, short term goals that would help me bring closer to my long term goal. So that's what I rearrange, not really rearrange. I tweak it a bit, and the goal here is you can start doing these eight things for at least 1 week. That will be my recommendation, and if it helped you as much as how it helped me, then of course you can add, a couple more weeks, and then you can do it as you grow. So let's start with the first thing. The first thing that was on my list, which is also on that list from Deep Stash, again, by the way, this is it's a disclaimer. I'm not sponsored of any application or anyone. I just really love that application, and I'm really using it every day. So if you want to try it, download Deep Stash. It's really good. So the first, one of the eight things that will change your life. The first one is stop complaining and see what are the things that you're grateful for. Now you might say, stop complaining. What do you mean? We all complain in one point or another. We do complain about some things, like let's say, oh, it's traffic again. Oh, it's too hot, or oh, it's too cold. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. We complain for almost everything, and it's easier to actually complain than to see the things that you should be grateful for. So when it's hot, then maybe you could say, "Oh, it's hot. It's good for a quick sweat. It's nice. It's nice to chill. If you wanna get a tan, why not? And if it's cold, it's nice to create hot cocoa, or make a coffee and then read a book. Cuddles. So that's how I started. I started with not complaining. And then the moment I wake up, I would, start thinking, what are the things that I'm grateful for? Again, this is what I'm doing every time I wake up. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I'm awake. I'm grateful that there's a roof over my head. I have a bed, I have food, I have water. If you're going to think about it, these are basic things that we already have, but we usually forget to see them as what they are and be thankful for what they are giving to us. So that's one. That's the first. The second one is practice self-love. And I added a bit to it about practice self-love because when I was thinking about it, it's true. It's too broad. Um, in how do I start practicing self-love? The way I started it is, you might think this is crazy, but this is actually working for me. And I've read a lot of reviews from people who are also doing this. And it does work. It does. I started with one affirmation. And what I do is I look in a mirror and I tell myself this affirmation. But I don't say it just once, I say it until I feel it. So the first affirmation I created, or rather, that I wanted to tell myself is, I am more than enough. And then if the first time that I said it in the mirror didn't work, I will say it again until I feel it. I'm more than enough. I'm more than enough. I am more than enough. And you'd be surprised on how much it will boost your mood. And the thing is, it's also a way that you're triggering your brain on the things that you should be looking into. um for me, I started with one, and that's my first affirmation. I've created a lot, but I've stick to three, which I think is my favorite. So that's the first, I'm more than enough. The second one is, I am destined for great things. Yes, I am destined for great things, and so are you. And the third is, I can do anything I set my mind to. You can try those three affirmations. That's what's working for me, and those are the three affirmations I say to myself every day. And I do this in front of a mirror, and I don't even care who's looking at me, or who if my dorm mates are here. I don't even care. I would say it because that's how I want to boost my self confidence, and kind of triggering my brain that this is you. And it did help me a lot. So try it. So let's move to the third one. Now, some of you might say, have a different thought about it, but hear me out on this. So, the third thing that you want to change or you want to do is avoid people who complain a lot. Sorry about the ice cream. It's there, but yeah, let me continue. Avoid people who complain a lot. What do I mean by this? These are the type of people that always have a problem or will always have a problem to every solution. Yes, I've met a lot, and I what I did is I did try to avoid them, because negative people or toxic people would only bring toxicity. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, toxicity into your life. And the more that you have toxic people in your life, it will be hard for you to actually expand yourself and learn more, because they would always complain. If they would say, sorry for that again. If let's say, oh, I wanted to start a small business. I'm good at cooking, so I'm thinking of maybe I should what do you call this, cook, let's say, lasagna. I'd cook lasagna and then prepare this. Maybe I'll start with 10 packages first, and then if people would like it, I'd gradually increase it. And then the type of people that I'm pertaining to are the type of people that would say, oh, but that's a bit tiring, and who are you going to sell it? It's not gonna work, because there are a lot of people who are already cooking lasagna, and there are a lot of people who are great in cooking lasagna. So they always see problems to things that you would want to do. The thing is, if all business people or great thinkers would think that way, there's no fast food chain, there's no other businesses. When I'm just using this brand, let's say when H&M created their brand, and if the owner of Zara would think, oh, there's already a what they call this, a brand, or a business folk that started clothing design or clothing business. I don't want to do it anymore because it's not going to work. No, the thing is, you should think of what's about what do you have that you can offer that the other business doesn't have. So another example that I can think of is the Jollibee and McDonald's, which is very common here in our country. um, so McDonald's have been in the business for a while, and then Jollibee, of course, also followed. So if you're going to think about it, there are certain foods. This is my opinion. There are certain foods that I like in McDonald's, which I would not trade with Jollibee. I like Jollibee's chicken. Yes, I like their chicken. I also like their spaghetti, but I don't like their sundae. I also don't like their French fries. But in McDonald's, I like their burger. I also like their sundae. I also like their french fries. So you will have variety. But it doesn't mean that Jollibee shouldn't start or they should have not started their business just because McDonald's is already around. Okay? So there. So avoid people who like to complain. They're, they're not going anywhere. So if you want to go somewhere, if you want to excel, if you want to improve, avoid them by all means. Remove toxic people in your life. Okay, going next. The fourth one is take control of your thoughts. Now this is something that's challenging even for me. I've been in the personal growth for almost 2 years now, and it's hard. It's really hard to think positive, to take control of your thoughts, to see things in a different perspective, especially if you're going through something or if your emotions are too high. One trick that I learned is that every time I'm in a situation in which my emotions are really on the edge, breathe. Yes, take a deep breath, at least 3 or 5 times. It helps you relax for a bit, and it helps you think better because you can't control what other people would say. You can't control what other people would do, but you can control your thoughts and how you would say things. You don't want to return what they call this violence with violence. Well, it really depends on what are the things that you are experiencing. It's broad, I know, but I mean, if someone says bad thing to you, if someone curses you behind your back, it doesn't mean that you should do the same thing. Take control of your own thoughts. If you would do the same thing that what they're doing, how does it help you? Okay, if you say that you did it, you feel better. Okay, but what else? How did it help you grow? Were you able to understand why are they doing that? So take control of your thoughts and see things in a different perspective. Take a step back and take a deep breath. So that's the fourth. The fifth one, I know I've been looking back and forth. I just have notes and I like writing down things. This is what helps me remember, and when I want to focus and go back and see if how much I've grown, that's how I do it. So journaling. The fifth one is pick one skill you want to cultivate and put an effort into developing it. Now you might say, but you're only talking about 1 week of like a challenge of 1 week of trying things. There are a lot of things that you can do in 1 week. That's why I'm saying pick one, just pick one and focus on it. Put your effort into really developing it and make sure that you really want to do it. One example that I can say is, let's say you're not really good in cooking. What you can do is, okay, try to learn, the basic steps, few steps, and then try to do it gradually every day. Put Spend at least an hour of developing that particular skill every day. Just an hour. And you'd be surprised of how much growth you were able to develop, or how much you were able to develop in a span of 1 week. And if you're happy with that, then again, you can extend it and extend it until you'll achieve something you'd never thought you're able to achieve before. Because a lot of times, and I did this to myself too. I told myself, oh, I wanted to learn how to play guitar, but I always have an excuse like, oh, I don't have a guitar, I don't have time, or oh, it's hard to play guitar, I'm already old. So things like that. Um, but then I was really um, thinking deeper. Do I really want to learn how to play guitar? Or I'm just curious about it? Or I'm just envious of people who know how to play guitar? And then I realized, oh no, uh, it's more of like I'm just envious. I'm just looking at them like, oh, they're really good. I wonder how it feels like to learn how to play guitar. It wasn't really for me, so I didn't do that. What I did is I tried to learn what do you call this, yoga. So I really wanted to learn yoga for the longest time. I think I started my fascination with yoga since probably 2008 or 2010. I'm not pretty sure. I've always wanted to learn about it, but I always have an excuse. I was thinking that I should be, what do you call this, be in a group. I should have a group to learn yoga. I should, I should have a teacher to learn yoga. I should have this to learn yoga. I should have that to learn yoga. But 2 years ago, I started to really ask myself, do I really want to learn yoga? How much do I want to learn it? And I said, yes, I truly, 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 truly want to learn yoga. So I started doing it. So at first, I tried to learn the basics, the beginner stage. And sorry again for the bell. That, if you guys know, that's binatog. I think it's, but anyway. So I started to develop, I started with a 15-minute practice, and I do that every day. And then I gradually increase it. And now I I can do something. I would say I'm in the mid going intermediate. Yeah, I think so. I still can't do headstand, but there are things that I can do, which I'm very, very proud of. So there, I'm still doing yoga. Um, I'm still practicing yoga, and that's one skill that I've always wanted to develop. So again, take take a step back and try to think of what's that one skill you want to learn and that you would want to push through moving forward. Again, if 1 week didn't work for you, if let's say you start to cultivate or develop one skill, and then after 1 week you realize that, oh, it's not really for me, I don't like it, and I'm not seeing myself doing this in the long term, then you can always switch it. Try it again. Try a new skill for 1 week, and see which skill would you want to really develop. Okay, next. This is in line um, with the fifth step, or the fifth thing that you would want to change. It's commit to every single goal. So just like what I shared earlier, spend at least an hour into cultivating that skill, and make sure that you are doing it, that you're in your presence is there. You're not multitasking, because when you're multitasking, what happens is that you're not really focusing into learning. So just like an example with yoga, if it I would spend the first steps that I did is I spent 15 minutes, and I make sure that I'm not using my phone, I am not watching TV, I'm not doing anything, no one is distracting me. That 15 minutes alone is dedicated to learn to practice yoga. And then this other 15 minutes is dedicated for meditation, which helps me, bring clarity into my yoga. So make sure that once you do that, focus on it, give your full attention to it, be present when you're committing to your goal, and make sure that you are really spending time into understanding, into planning and creating on how to achieve that goal. Seven, seventh step is sweat a bit. Sweat a bit every day to boost your mood. Now, some of you might say, but I'm already sweating when I'm sitting, like it's too hot here in the Philippines. I know. but the thing is you're not moving. And you there's a difference with you sweating when you're only sitting and sweating when you're actually moving. um, Before, I would say I'm okay in actually working out and training and exercising, but I wasn't able to really commit into doing it every day because I feel lazy all the time. So I came across what they call this a podcast, and it talks about how to create small habits that would create a bigger impact into your life. And it says what they call this it talked about short term, like extremely short term goal that would help you bring to a long term goal. I forgot what it means. No, not what it means. I forgot the specific term that he uses. um but the thing is, he said that when you wanted to start working out or exercising, don't force yourself into doing it like I do it 30 minutes, five days a week, or no, it's not gonna work. You would eventually be uh, exhausted, and your body would regret, and you would start thinking, oh, I don't want to do it, and so on and so forth. Your brain would start to make excuses. Especially if you're not really active, or you haven't been into the active part of your life. So I would suggest is to start at least 2 minutes. Yes, the moment you wake up, once you drink your glass of water, try to just shake things up, stand, and then just jump for a bit. Try to loosen up for 2 minutes, and you would really understand, like, oh, okay, this is really um, boosting my mood in a bit, and then gradually increase it every day. And then maybe once you're in that 5 minute mark, you can add an exercise, like do it for let's say 20 jumping jacks, or 5 minute jumping rope. Do that. It's sweating, you're getting healthier, your brain is getting the right amount of oxygen that it needs, that would help boost your metabolism, of course, would help you have a better mood. Believe me, if I am creating things, and if I want to be creative, if I'm start painting and I don't have anything in mind, what I would do is I would either run, I would practice yoga, or I would do anything. I would do any exercise just to make sure that I would have that that my what was that, what they call this, that I would sweat. And then the moment you sweat, you would realize, okay, I've suddenly have this creative ideas right now that I didn't have before I started exercising or sweating. And the last one is, actually, this last part is a quote that I also learned from Denzel Washington. It's part of his speech that I shared from my previous video, and it talks about failing forward, learn from your mistakes. So what does he really mean when he say fail forward, or what do I mean when I say fail forward? A lot of times we think that when we want something, we want to make sure that we have a backup plan, that once we fail, there's a backup plan for you to cover your ass. Denzel said that if I want to fail, I want to see where I'm going, so I would rather fail forward and see what are the mistakes that I created. Because when I'm focusing on that goal, on that strategy, I want to make sure that my entire focus, that I'm 100% committed into creating that goal, into creating the plan and doing it. Because if I am also busy creating plan B, then it means I am dividing my attention into two things. So let's say you have plan A and plan B. It Then it means there is a high chance that plan A would fail because you're not already fully committed to it. I know some of you would disagree to this point, but then again, this is what's working for me. I'm just sharing this with everyone. Fail forward. If you want to commit into one particular goal, make sure that you have your full attention to it. When you create your strategy, your plan on steps on how to do it, make sure that you are in doing it. And if you fail, fail forward so that you can see all the details that you made. These are the mistakes that contributed to the failure. But will I dwell on the mistakes and the failure? No. This is an opportunity for me to once develop that goal and create a better strategy so I can make sure, and once I do it again, it's going to work this time. Fail forward so that you can see where you're going. I don't want to fail backward or fall into another plan. No. I'd rather fail forward so that I can see what are the things that I can still develop, and accepting that you have a lot of things to learn, and we do have that every day, is something that you should be proud of. And it's something that you should always write down, take a look into, and see, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow. Mistakes are not there for to let you feel humiliated. Mistakes are not there to let you feel small. For me, it's a way to see things differently. It's a way to see that, okay, I missed this part. That's okay. I forgive myself in for missing that part, but this time I'm already seeing it. I can see it clearly. What do I do about it? Then I'll make sure that once I've recreated this plan or this strategy, I'll put that to it. I'll take a note of that. And then I'll create a strategy that will work into my current strategy. So that's it for me today. I hope that these random thoughts or these 8 things that will help you change your life would help you on how much it helped me. Again, you can try to do it for 1 week. It's up to you. You can also try it for 3 days. I recommend 1 week so that you can see the difference. And then again, if it works for you, you can, of course, do it again and again and again. And then maybe you can reach that 1 year. I've been doing it for 2 years now, so it helped me grow in so many different ways. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and please stay safe. And that's it for me. This is Kathleen again. Bye.